I was going to the municipal beverage station, I would not go to the comp plan meeting.
Comp plan.
There's gotta be an after hours at the beverage thing, there's gotta be a.
I've got a package too.
Oh, okay.
I would think there'd be like samples.
Samples or something, no, actually.
I know there's not, it's clear in their literature that there's not.
Right, it's a business. It is business.
Is it noon, Mike?
Got a couple.
That's like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, I got a couple. Did you hear from anybody on your emails that said they weren't coming?
I know that, Dan is not coming, he
Yeah.
called me yesterday.
Julie's reaching her critical mass point for the 19th here. 16 days to go and counting.
Gotta be busy.
Well, there are a lot of expectations from the regional
Yeah.
manager.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's gonna be nice though. Looks like
It's gonna be nice just being able to get in and out of
Get
it.
in, I think, yeah.
Are they gonna start demoing the old one right away, or no?
No, we don't have any idea really what's
No,
going
They've
on.
really been tight up on that. I've asked a couple times and Julie's kind of looks at me and says, okay.
Deal with it when we deal with it.
People are asking.
She might not know.
She may not be, may not be her.
She didn't even know
She
when
doesn't
they were
care.
starting to.
Oh, yeah, that could be a corporate thing that they won't release till the day before they do it.
They're worried about her going and taking over the new one, and I think their business would go up just because it'd be easier to get in and out.
Sure. Yeah.
'Cause I know a lot of people that go to
I go to
Manorville.
Manorville and get
I go to
my gas.
Manorville for gas half the
Yeah,
time,
because
just because it's pain in the butt.
Less
you know,
congested.
when it's busy.
Yeah.
I don't much be surprised if they demo it. I mean, you look at like Chatfield, that's an office building now, our old one, well, it's Burger King.
Yeah, it may not demo the building.
I mean-
Oh, no, yeah, I was thinking
Yeah,
more
well,
along the
I mean-
lines of like the truck.
Oh,
awning and-
sure,
Yeah.
all the canopies and
They'll
stuff. and-
do the environmental and take tanks out.
Oh,
but
sure.
I guarantee there won't be anybody selling gas there.
No.
Oh, gosh.
Ever again. Ever again.
In that corner.
Yeah.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Chris McKern?
Mike Peterson.
Mike Langen.
Jeff Stevenson.
Rebecca Charles.
Okay.
Really, it's just a
Formality.
Minutes of previous meeting. Any corrections, additions, any discussion?
And there is two separate, sets of minutes there. I didn't know if we needed to have them approved separately or if they can be approved in one foul swoop.
Well, first we'll do the September 5th ones. Any discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? September 19th, a special meeting. Any additions or corrections or comment?
I guess the only thing I would do is, I'd have to read through more detail again, is after that meeting, we had said, we'd put it on the agenda for the next council meeting. But I think we need to just clarify in the minutes that we still haven't received, and Roger, not Roger, Ronnie.
Ron.
Up in
Carlson's
Canada.
all that stuff.
Yes.
Ron's gone, but we need an official offer from him. We don't really have anything in writing that says, hey, I've offered you this. So that's what we're waiting for before we can get it to council.
Okay.
Okay. Any other changes to the minutes?
Move to approve as corrected.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Shopko update. Miss Rebecca, do you have that?
Well, currently, there's not a whole lot to update. I did reach out to them again last week, and my apologies, I can never pronounce her name, but our contact with Shopko actually copied me on her email that she sent out requesting more information. So I know that she is asking for it. It's just a matter of, I think we'll get back to her.
So was it Shopko, the Shopko company that has the right to give us access, or the real estate investment trust that owns the land?
The real estate investment trust is kind of our intermediary, I guess. They're the ones who are kind of we're contacting through them. So we don't actually contact Shopko direct.
But
They
Shopko
contact
has the call on
And
this.
Shopko makes the call.
Not the landowner?
Yep.
Okay.
And
Because
that's
of the terms of their lease.
That's part of their, okay.
Yeah.
Just didn't know which entity we're
Yep.
waiting on, the
waiting
real
on
estate company,
Shopko.
or we're waiting on actual Shopko?
So that's how we have to go about it.
Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
yep.
All right. Shopko lot offer update.
Oh, and that, I guess, Chris actually just kinda covered that
Sure.
we just wanna make sure that we're getting the written offer, so Ron's been notified by email, I know he's already out of town, but, and Chris, who else is he working with, do you know?
Aaron Thompson talked to me after the last council meeting and asked
Okay.
why it wasn't on the agenda, and I told him why we were waiting for the official offer. And
Okay.
Ron hadn't communicated that to him, so maybe he could help facilitate that. He said he's kinda helping him with the details there, so.
Okay.
I'm sure when Ron gets back.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, there's really no, other than for Ron's peace of mind as far as being able to get started on something, until the Shopko thing's resolved, there's not a lot
To do anyway.
we could do, so.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause the offer really is contingent upon what they say, isn't it?
absolutely.
Yeah, so. Okay, any other discussion on that? Okay, Dodge County Housing Study.
That's you.
Oh, that's me. So I did go to the EDA meeting, Dodge County EDA meeting. Because Dodge County EDA has not, actually committed any dollars to help pay for the housing study, they, recommended going with the low bid, but we're not going to insist that the cities who are pitching in to pay for it, go with the low bid. So, I saw an email that said what was my preference, and I don't have one over the other of the folks. I think my biggest concern is that the, EDA director for the county be able to get grant funds to subsidize a major portion of the cost of the housing study, so that the city's cost stays in that $5,000 range that I had initially indicated we were willing to put in. It sounds like Dodge Center would go $3,000, Manorville might go $1,500, Claremont $1,000, West Concord $1,000, and then hopefully we can pick up the rest with some grant money from People's Energy Cooperative. I don't know if he's gonna reach out to Bremer Trust or Bremer Foundation or not, but I'm encouraging him to.
There's one other.
And, Compeer, which I think is the old Egg Star, yeah, grant, so, once all the money's lined up, then they'll be ready to move forward with it.
And when they get this done, all the cities will have access to using it?
Yes, yep, it'll be
And then
countywide.
what will we use it for?
What it'll be used for primarily is for, developers who are looking to utilize, federal loan and grant programs. Will have this housing study to be able to say, yes, this is a need, we, have done the work to find out that, your grant dollars will be used effectively if you use them here in Dodge County.
So basically, this is a requirement in order for developers to be able to
To
apply
get
for
to
those.
federal, to get to some federal dollars, yep.
There'd be a lot more dollars available if they didn't make you spend it on studies and just made those dollars available.
Yeah, I know.
Build something.
Is there something like this in, the Journey to Growth? Is there already some of this been done?
Well,
Not for
it's
housing.
it's a very, because it's a, housing study that meets the federal criteria, then it's very specific information that's collected in order to compile the study. So, though some of the information may be collected through Journey to Growth, it's still the way that it's compiled and presented that makes up the study, so.
Okay.
And if you guys wanted to see what was included in those proposals, Rebecca can send those out if you want to see what the proposals look like.
Does anybody have any need to look at those?
I don't.
I don't.
What was the range of the proposals?
Like 23,660 was the amount of the lowest bid, that was Maxfield Research. I wanna say 28,000 was the next lowest, and that was WSN.
Yep, 28 or 29.
And there was another one, but that one was like 30.
Yeah, it was like way out of
That one's not even in
ballpark.
contention.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
About
30,
per-
32 something.
About per person.
City of Caslin's gonna start doing studies.
It's about what it is.
And we're gonna charge everybody else for them.
Okay.
Yeah, if you did a citywide one, it'd probably run around 9 to 10,000, but yeah, the countywide one's.
And we're assured that all the government entities would look at this study the same? I mean, they wouldn't want any sort of different study for the developers?
Well, that's the way that we put it out to get the proposals, was that it be a study that meets the federal guidelines.
Yep, it
So-
has to fit
Yep.
federal guidelines in order for us
Yep.
to accept the bid.
Yeah, so, and they're all aware, like what they do, and I think Maxfield did the one for Stewartville? Is that right?
I'd have to check who did
Okay.
those.
I know Joy used.
I think Maxfield did though.
Did.
Maxfield's done a good chunk of the ones around the area.
Yeah.
They're
So-
one of the most reputable ones.
So, the housing study goes through, you know, we've already
Right.
budgeted 5,000 at the city council, already
Right.
done that last year.
Right.
So, do we have any building projects in Casson that somebody would be looking to federal dollars for? Can you give me an example of what that would
Well,
be?
Rebecca just had a phone call this morning from someone who wants to put in townhomes
Mhm.
that are, income capped.
Yep.
So, that tells me that
One
that's
of them.
some kind of federal housing program where you
Okay.
would say we rent to people up to
Yep.
this level.
It's a developer out of Owatonna.
Oh,
Um,
okay, I got another one who's supposed to be contacting you about
Oh,
the
awesome.
development process that wants to put
Okay.
Okay.
another 12.
Awesome.
Yeah, we were actually thinking of suggesting, some of the Bigelow property right over by the Quick Trip because it's walking distance to the
Park and ride.
also to the Quick Trip, plus it's got the other housing over there. But it would give them the opportunity to expand, because they'd be starting out with 6 units, so, and then adding another 6 units within 12 months, and then go up to 24 units is kind of what they were thinking.
So there are projects in our municipality that
That we could.
the city would benefit from over the years.
Right.
This is an investment over
I think
people to
like what
use.
Elroy was talking about too, that was
Mhm.
something similar.
Sure.
It was
Mhm.
some kind
Yeah.
of funds he was after,
Okay.
so. Good.
Good.
Any other questions on that? Any other comments, Teresa, at all, you have?
No?
Okay. All right, trade show, ICSC.
Yeah.
What does that stand for?
International Council of Shopping Centers,
Okay.
something along that, something very close to
Yeah.
that. So it's a retailer market. I have to say that a majority of the folks I saw, are in the real estate end of the shopping center industry. So whether they develop shopping centers, take over management of shopping centers, take over management of rentals or whatever, there was a lot of that. But there were, and I think I left the list on my desk, so there were several retailers themselves that were there. I felt like I had a really good, time, with Dairy Queen, and Jennifer is her name. So the representative who also covers Minnesota was there. I got to sit with her for some time. I left her with a little jump drive that had our real estate location information, available lots on it, and disclosed to her, I said in full disclosure, you had one closed in Dodge Center. And she pulled that up and looked at the map, looked at where they had one in Byron, and she felt like Casson was a location, if they had a franchisee, looking for a location for a Dairy Queen, that she would be able to recommend us. So, that was felt like a really good contact. Talked with the folks from Casey's, got the contact information for, their Minnesota rep. He happened to not be at the show. Talked to the folks from Hibbett Sports. They're looking for a little larger population than we currently have, but now at least we know that. And for several of the other retailers were there, I did take their information so that, Rebecca has it, and then we can see they're looking for, minimum traffic of 20,000 vehicles. Right now, we can see on the MnDOT map, we have like 17,200, so maybe we'll watch that as Quick Trip gets going. And sometimes they have a population requirement, some of them have an income requirement, depending on what they're selling. So we're just gathering some really good information that will help us go out and provide information to them in the future. The folks from Buxton reached out to me yesterday and said if there was anyone who wasn't in our list of 20 retailers they have provided us information for, that they would help us put together packets to reach out to the others as well. So I'll go back to them with Dairy Queen, and there's a new hair cutters, I think, you know, so some of those that I picked up, and we'll get the information together and get it back out to them. So mostly learning curve.
Okay, any questions for Teresa, anybody else?
Is that something you need to do each year, or skip every
You know,
cycle?
I don't know, and I don't know, what happened was I had some meetings set up for a Thursday morning, and it seems like a lot of folks just come in for the day on Wednesday and shoot out
Yep.
because they were canceling my appointments
Mhm.
Thursday morning, saying they were gonna go ahead and go.
So they were using it as a golf vacation.
Yeah, maybe.
So they're one day bailing, you make the appointment for Thursday
Right.
morning, and.
Then it's like, I'll follow up with you later, yeah, so.
So if you go to the first day,
Yeah.
go just the first day.
Just go for the day, yeah. Actually, it sounds like they do 3 regional events, and that, you know, I'll just keep my eye out and see what some of those other regional events are, and see what the other opportunities are, maybe to hook up with folks.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
And this one made sense just because, just so everybody knows, Teresa was already in
Right,
Chicago for a
right.
family event,
Yep.
so it made sense for everybody
Yep,
that she just popped in
yep.
for a day or two and did that,
Exactly.
so I appreciate it.
Took a vacation day, went up there, took a vacation day. You know, yep, yep.
Perfect.
Well, thanks for going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're welcome.
And we've had one other inquiry, or somebody else mentioned Dairy Queen before too.
That
Maybe
was Tony from,
Brunson or whatever.
Brunson, I think.
Brunson, and Rebecca will circle back with him now that we have Jennifer's name and see.
And that one kind of intrigued me a little bit, just because in the comp plan meetings we've had with the public input, people talking about what type, you know, people say, we need more restaurants, and I always say, well, what kind? And they'll, you know, well, ice cream, you know,
Ice
some
cream,
ice cream,
right.
even if it was just seasonal for the summer with all
Right.
the kids' activities we have going on, so.
Yeah.
Right, yep,
Be
exactly.
well
Or
worth the
Mexican,
time.
you know, you always hear tacos.
Taco Bell.
Taco
Taco
Bell, you hear
Bell.
that every time.
I spoke at another high
They're
school
not
class last week.
Yeah.
The whole hour was Taco Bell, and why we don't have a Taco Bell, and I pulled up my email and I said, here's the name and number of the guy you
Yeah,
can talk to, and
call.
I gave it to all the high school kids, I said, if you can convince them,
Yeah.
oh, good for you.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
petition.
Go for it.
Like, if you
I know.
guys wanna go, I hope they didn't call them.
Well, that one
Or
outfit
maybe-
that took over the Dairy Queen at Dodge Center, that place
It's
is
booming.
busy.
Well, that's
Oh,
the difference, the high school kids just want Taco Bell, everybody else wants
Wants
really good Mexican
taco,
food.
yeah.
You know, and they were considering Casson, but they wanted a building ready that needed
go.
very little remodeling.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
that building was
Right
right
there.
there, boom,
Yeah.
bus truck.
Now it's way too small, the way it looks.
Oh, yeah, we went over there last week for lunch and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
We went to
Wow.
know what town we're with, yeah, too, it's good, good stuff.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's new, so I mean, it's gonna be full, we'll see after a year. Okay, anything else for Teresa? Okay, seat update.
All right, well, not a whole lot going on this past month, but tomorrow I'm actually gonna be heading out to Shakopee. I'm gonna be attending, an event that's hosted by the Preservation Alliance Minnesota. It is the Main Street promotion of using your story to sell your downtown. So hopefully what I can get from that, they're gonna be talking about different tactics and techniques of utilizing the story of your community to help, promote new businesses coming in, new residents coming in, and new developers. So I'm gonna try to see if that's something that we can help to kind of boost the downtown growth, see if, what I guess are the next steps and what we need to take a look at. So I'll be there tomorrow. I'm also going to be starting to attend on the third Thursday of every month. I'm going to be CEDA's new representative for the Day at the Capitol Committee, out of Rochester. So basically, 3 times a year, there's a day for Southeast Minnesota to be represented up at the Capitol building, talking with legislatures, and kind of seeing what's going on, being able to kind of help promote our agenda. So, as different projects come up and different items, I'll be able to present that information throughout the year, so. That should be interesting. So I'll have a little information on that, I guess, at the next ED meeting.
Anybody have any other questions for Rebecca? Okay, other business.
In your packets, or attached to your packet, we received a, application for TIF, from Chad Stanner regarding his, storage units. He's requesting the TIF because he has a total of loans of around $550,000. He said that when he found out what the taxes were going to be, he was sticker shock, I believe was the word he used. He's now stating that he may not follow through, with the business if he doesn't get it. However, he is not creating any jobs. He also has already purchased the property, and he's already begun developing the property, which kind of eliminates the availability for TIF. And I suppose we could look at the idea of tax abatement, but I don't think that applies either, to be honest, but.
Where's this land at? Where?
The left
Back here.
right by where the funeral home's going, would be to the south of the funeral home.
Yep.
Directly south.
So we just kinda stuck helping them
Okay.
We can't do much.
No, I mean, 'cause the fact that he's not creating any jobs, and he openly states he's creating no jobs, TIF is really not a.
You have to be able
Yeah.
to create a TIF district, you have to be able to have
Right.
jobs created.
Mhm.
Well, and we passed the TIF district part of the, option, because TIF has to meet a but-for test, but for the TIF, development wouldn't happen. Well, the subdivision's all up and running and ready to go, so it's like that.
Funeral home's already going.
Right, so that ship already sailed, so really TIF is the tax increment finance district, that's already off the table. Now, offering him tax abatement, you would only have the authority to recommend abatement of the city portion of the taxes, which I could get an idea of by looking at what these storage units here pay and what portion is the city portion. But also, you would have to be able to show that there's some economic advantage that you're getting in return for the tax abatement. For example, next door, he was bringing jobs, he was bringing his business and those jobs to town, and he received a tax abatement. But with the storage units and no jobs, it would be harder, I think, to show an
If you don't come
economic
check your storage
advantage.
unit from out of town on a daily basis.
Right.
This is the first storage unit development he's developed.
Actually, it may be.
I think it might be, actually.
Well, I'm just, the taxes.
He thinks they'll be about $12,000 a year, and
Mhm.
I think that's in line with what I saw for the Caston storage.
With his value with that, makes sense, but
Yeah.
part of
That
the.
tax abatement isn't gonna make that big of a difference on it.
For the city portion, you got the county and the school.
Now, when
and-
you're looking at that much money,
Right.
Just gonna have to look at passing it on or do something. Okay, so there's not much we can do there.
Yeah, I mean, the TIF's gone,
Yep.
it's not even possible to do TIF.
Right.
The abatement, we'd have a hard time showing a economic benefit to
Yeah.
the city to do that, to pass that test in order to do that
Yeah.
too.
So are we looking to decline that off the application then?
So is he applying for a TIF, and he wasn't asking for any of the EDA money as a loan?
No, because this is also a business subsidy
Okay.
So
application.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's
I'd
not.
say we'd have to pass on it based on it's a TIF and.
Yeah, he's applied, I see the first bit, looking for 10-year TIF, but that's what, against the rules, so.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, any other business? Anybody else?
I did wanna just, point out, I think I've, provided copies of, this is the draft vision statement and guiding principles going into the next, meeting for the comprehensive planning working group. And then November 1st is our next community meeting then around the, comprehensive plan. So, this will kind of give you an idea of what the information that's been collected from the community, what direction that's, providing for the comprehensive plan.
Does anyone have any questions for Teresa on this?
So this was developed based on the feedback from all
Yeah,
the different sessions?
yep, yeah, and the working group will go into more detail on this, but I thought it was good for the EDA to kind of see that
Yep, appreciate that.
small town identity is really trending, in the feedback.
A lot of this will go hand in hand with your CETA meeting here in a minute too.
Mhm.
Cool.
This is a good thing, right?
Only thing I got a couple of things, but one thing, how's the Buxton thing going? Good?
Actually, I think we're gonna get on a better track. There was a staffing change there, and, they're making a real effort to reach out to us and make sure that we're getting all the benefit.
Okay.
We had originally thought about having them come to the chamber meeting in October, but the space isn't really conducive to folks staying after, so we'll move that to November. We'll be at the Legion, there's a little more space to do a presentation. And then in the meantime, Rebecca has some new contacts to make sure that the businesses who are looking for additional information, that we can get back and make sure we're using the data in ways that benefit them, so.
And I think we should be asking something from Buxton,
Okay,
if there's any chance that they wanna renew this next April.
okay,
With Antoine,
yes,
our contact person kinda fell off
yes.
the map for a while, and kinda stood Teresa up at the meeting
Yes,
last week. He was supposed to be
yes.
there, and she called me and
Yeah.
said Anton didn't show up, and so,
Yeah,
we'll be asking for something.
Okay.
What we get or not, whatever, but we are gonna.
Okay.
Might as well ask, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, and
Yeah.
because that contract's a 1 year
Yes.
renewable for up to
Yes.
2 more.
right.
We don't have to renew it.
Right.
We can take whatever information we have and go, or we could even say, 'cause I know when we talked to Cody when he first sold that package to us.
Yes.
We could say, well, we aren't gonna budget this much, we're gonna budget this much, what do we get for that?
Right.
And determine whether it's worth it or not.
And
So-
I did actually, spend some time, talking with one of their competitors at the ICSC
Oh.
conference, and Rebecca has that information too, so, you know, we'll be looking at, you know, what
Both
are you
sides,
offering
yeah.
that they're not,
Yeah.
and, you know,
Comparables, you know?
yeah.
It's a good contact, when they
What
say
are-
they can show up.
That seems fair enough right there, yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was a three-year
Well, it's
contract.
3 years, but it's renewable each year.
Yeah,
You
so
don't
we
have to.
can get out of it.
You can get out
Get
of
out
it.
of it.
We're
Oh, see, I
committed
thought-
for 12 months.
I thought you were locked in.
At least the
Good.
rates couldn't go up then for the
Yeah,
next
they
2
can't
years.
raise the rates on
Yeah.
us, but
Right.
we know what it is for up to 3 years. But after
Right.
1 year, we have to choose, there's
Right.
no,
Oh, that makes sense then.
Electric,
Yeah.
I was
you
under
are
the
not-
assumption
right.
it was a 3-year contract too.
You figure
Yeah.
I'll go with it.
each year. Yeah, so if we choose
Nice.
as a council next March or April that
Yeah.
it
Right.
wasn't,
Right, or we
We don't
say,
see the
hey,
vision
you
there.
know, we see that really this is the level of service that would be most beneficial for us, so instead of paying for,
Pay 25,000 or
Right.
whatever, yeah.
and as we've learned, the reason they do 3 years, it might make sense. I mean, first I'm like, well, it's convenient, that's a,
Right.
but these bigger companies, they don't jump and do anything quick.
Right.
You
Right.
gotta have
Yeah.
information and be giving them the data they need for 2 or 3 years before they make the decision to do it, so
Right.
the pipeline process with this is not like buying a bag of apples and you sell it on Tuesday. I'm not very patient when it comes to that.
Applesauce.
Applesauce, applesauce, yeah.
On Wednesday, applesauce.
Yeah.
And then I heard something here this morning, I went to an appointment with a guy, is the city annexing 80 acres?
not at this time, no.
Okay, good. That's what I kind of figured.
No,
not,
no
but
one has approached the city about an 80-acre annexation.
I was told that that was done. I'm going, I
No,
don't think so, but.
Northwest part of town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was sold,
Yeah.
or being sold, but it's
Yeah.
not been annexed in
No.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the vision down the road is, I
Is that-
talked to somebody this morning, they said the same thing. I said,
Yeah.
they said, well, we'd like to someday. Okay.
Okay.
Cause I hadn't
Well,
heard
like
that either,
to
they called me,
someday,
I'm like.
yeah, it could be, you know, I'm so sure somebody said, oh, maybe someday, and then all of a sudden the next guy, and then the third guy, it's already been done.
No, no.
I
Like
think it's called Smart, they wanna do that.
8.3 acres was 8.3 acres was annexed for Houston's first
Yep.
subdivision, and then 3.5 acres was just annexed to bring that Reuben Finger homestead into the city limits.
Okay,
So-
and that's the one I was, heard
Yeah.
about this morning, was Reuben was in it, but his 80 acres was too.
No,
Just
3.5.
homestead.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
3.5.
For water.
Yeah,
'Cause it's
so that they would have
his well
access to
didn't have
water.
out or something.
Water
Yeah.
only, no sewer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
makes sense.
Okay,
All
that will
comes
that takes
together.
care of
It all
that,
comes
okay.
together. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and Wally was down talking to me up about
Oh.
Houston one, you know, he said, I know you're not mayor anymore. I said, no, not for 18 years, thank God.
Been that long, huh?
Yeah, 18 years. Yeah, time flies. So any other business? Okay, I'm open for a motion to adjourn then.
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Half an hour, nice job,
Yeah.
guys.
Well, that was a good meeting for you two then.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, really, we're just
It was.
learning a lot from going from, you know, how do we figure out how to even attract retail business to learning, okay, what are they looking for?
Yeah,
You know, it's a learning process, but at least,
well, you get them contacts too, there,
Yeah.
that's a huge
Yep.
deal.
yeah.
Yeah, just getting through corporate
Yeah.
America and trying to find them. too.
Just find the person that makes the
Oh,
decision.
makes any-
Yeah.
Makes any decision.
Yeah. Yeah. It's easy with that many layers of management not to make any
Not
decisions.
making-
If it's a good thing, it was my decision.
My decision. Yeah, that's a good
Bad,
thing.
I'm sure there's 3 layers.
In
above
line,
that.
yeah, in line.
Okay. Turning off all the
Thanks for
electronics.
Turning off all the electric.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Have a good afternoon.